For as short a verse as Mark 9:6 is, it's got some pretty interesting things in it. Ugar ede te apokrythei ekphoboi gar egenanta. For he did not know what he was saying. We'll come back to all these words. For they were terrified. Okay, let's look at a couple of these things. First of all, what's this? Will you remember in chapter 17 of BBG, we learned the word oida. It means I know or understand, and actually it's a perfect that's functioning as a present. And then the aorist is listed as adane, which is actually a pluperfect functioning as an aorist. So ade is a third person singular aorist from oida. For he did not know what. And then apokrythei, we normally think of it as answering, don't we? But in this context, it's clear that it means to say. What's interesting here are the variants. And again, as I've often said, never discuss variants without discussing significance. And if you look here, you can see that there's a replacement word for this in some of the manuscripts, and you'll see that it's elale. So in other words, some scribes felt the tension of having a word that basically means answered, and he says, well, Peter's just saying this, and so they switched to laleo. No significance. You can just see that the scribes are just trying to smooth things out. The other thing that's interesting is that it's egenanta, for they were terrified. And again, it's a perfectly good word, but again, if you look at the variants, you'll see that some scribes changed it to ason, for they were terrified. Again, maybe smoothing out the Greek a little, but certainly not changing the meaning at all. And you'll notice this is the perfective or emphatic use of the preposition ek that turns phobos from fear to terrified. Which I guess if two of your heroes appeared out of nowhere, you'd be terrified too. Phrasing is not really that big of a deal in this small of a verse. It's telling you that he didn't know what to say. Why? Well, they were fearful, terrified.